So what do you do when you are in the startup phase and you want to scale? You have to connect with people's drivers. You have to connect with audiences out there. If you want to enter a new market, you have to segment. You have to really be able to resonate with people. And that's what we do. We help, for example, Conservation International, but also Insect, who are also presenting here, with exactly that phase, based on shared values. And I'm going to demonstrate that based on a survey, a global survey, and I'm going to use the case of connecting with indigenous values for accelerating the shift to a more sustainable future. So up to 400 million indigenous people are living unprotected on this planet. And they are the earth keepers of 85% of key biodiversity areas. So it's very important to understand their values, and even more so, to help them be these earth keepers. So about Glocalities, we are part of the Nature Data Alliance. We are a consultancy. We are a global survey research firm, and we help our clients understand culture and accelerate. We help governments, investors, corporates, technical solutions. So we are based in Amsterdam. We operate across the globe, and we help our clients, such as Unilever, Greenpeace. We do global polling studies for them. UNICEF, they have a subscription to our application for reaching out to mothers globally and resonating with mothers in Indonesia and in India and in Sweden. Amnesty International, Global Citizen, you name it. Why do they choose for us? Because of our methodology. A lot of research companies focus only on what is above the surface, so what you can measure by tracking behaviors, for example. That's important. And then you see crisis, and you see turmoil, and you see change, and you will never be able to navigate it really in depth. So we connect that with values and motivations of people, with archetypes, with storytelling. What remains hidden? And in these inner values, there are profound shifts going on now, under the surface of crisis. Youth values are converging. Youth in emerging economies become more emancipated and are rising up. That's what you see in Iran, that's what you see in Turkey, in China, that's going on. Youth in advanced economies are more oriented towards purpose, quality of life. And half of the world population is under 30 years old, and 9 out of 10 young people come from emerging countries. So if we want to make the shift towards a more sustainable world, we have to connect with these carriers of hope, with the young generation. And how do you do that? By linking with their values. So we have surveys in 55 countries. We do it on an annual basis. We track trends. We work for the United Nations. But we're here to, of course, focus on the climate crisis. So 77% of the world population is strongly worried about the damage we are causing to the planet. And that's on the rise. Pessimism amongst youth is also rising. Like half of the world's youth think the future holds nothing for them. This is really a profound issue. And we are here to facilitate the shift of the fossil fuel economy towards the circular economy, which is interdependent, which is focused on well-being. The Homo florens instead of the Homo economicus. It's looking at person as a whole being. But that goes, of course, with bumps on the road. There's resistance to change, there are rising inequalities, there are climate anxieties. So how to overcome that? Based on looking at shared values. Building bridges based on shared values. That's what we facilitate. And for that we have created an application, a data solution that unlocks the survey data, that you can select any audience you want globally. So women in Indonesia who worry about gender inequality, or males in Indonesia who worry about gender inequality, and then look at the world through their eyes. In that way, you will be able to communicate much more effectively. So as a case today, I will look into indigenous values, because there have been literature studies of indigenous value systems, and what is shared around the world is that it's about harmony, it's about interconnectedness, humility, spirituality, mind and body are connected. There's not only a natural ecosystem, but also a social and an economic ecosystem, and that is one. We have entered into a time of great change and opportunity. As indigenous people, we can offer part of the solution to climate change. And this is one of the outcomes of this study. So we looked into people, based on our application, who are interested in indigenous cultures. 17% of the world population. That's more than 1.5 billion people. We see in the data that they share these values. Spiritual, idealistic, focused on wisdom. They want to buy and endorse products or services from brands that address these issues. So they are the allies, the unseen allies already of these indigenous people. So we can build bridges with our tech solutions, because these people are the carriers of hope. So this is what we do, building these bridges. And this is what we envision the tech community also to do. So our data offer is to make this really tangible and precise for your market. So we do this in the food tech sector, for example, for Insect or Vivera. In the nature sector, we do this with Greenpeace, with global studies, and also with Global Citizen, Conservation International, finding the right audiences for climate-smart timber. And based on this type of knowledge, you're able to scale, to prioritize the markets. So what we actually do is we conduct analysis, we create reports, we do workshops, we do trainings, we offer licenses to our data. And in this database, you can take a lot of entries that are relevant for your efforts. And it's also very helpful to learn about cultural differences, because from Zurich or Amsterdam, where we are located, if you want to connect with people from South Africa, or in China, or in Turkey, you have to step into their shoes. So this is our focus. My ask to you is, can you help us connect with the right networks to accelerate this change? Do you want to partner? Are you interested in getting a training in this tool, in this type of thinking? Because it needs much more than only tech solutions or only innovations. It needs social intelligence as well to move from the paradigm shift from to the circular economy. We have to tap into our own roots, derive the energy from that. And that is highly enthusiastic also. That brings up a lot of energy also from young leaders, connecting with young leaders, elevating them, helping them. That is what we are doing at Glocalities, global, local, building the ties again to get the natural flow of life streaming again, to overcome the alienation, to overcome the anxieties, and to build a prosperous, flourishing future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Martijn.